been obsessed lately with like sugar baby videos, and something I noticed about the sugar baby space online, or at the very least on YouTube, is that the sugar baby sector of social media is heavily saturated by black women. Now, does anybody actually care about this? Probably not, but y'all know I'll take any opportunity to make an observation about something and make a video on it. So let's talk about it. I recently started thinking about the world of sugar dating, for no particular reason, when I decided to scroll through YouTube. Immediately, I was met with a slew of black faces and titles such as How to Become a Sugar Baby, How to Get an Allowance, First Date with My Sugar Daddy, Day in the Life of a Sugar Baby, and so on and so forth. Almost all, if not most, of the sugar baby content that I was coming across was curated by black women, and I couldn't help but wonder why that might be. I hopped over to TikTok to see if the trend persisted over there, and although there's definitely much more of a mix of women of the different ethnicities in the sugar baby lifestyle, there was still a fair amount of black women on sugar baby TikTok as well. Okay, now I have a theory as to why this is, so I'm gonna try and dissect the uptick of black sugar baby content that's coming out. One thing I notice about a lot of this sugar baby content on YouTube is how recent it is. Quite a bit of this content is literally only about a year old, and I have to wonder if that coincides with the rise of the black women in luxury movement. I actually talked about the black women in luxury movement in a previous video, so if you want to check that out, I'm going to just leave a little card up there in the screen somewhere. You can go look. The movement really seemed to gain steam within the last 2 years, but even before that, black women have been pushing back against the negative stereotyping and imagery associated with us. A myriad of channels focused on black women leveling up, self-improvement, setting higher standards for dating and wellness have all been popping up on the platform for at least a decade now. In my opinion, this mirrors the real-life trend of black women improving their lives in a variety of other arenas. For example, black women are more likely than men to earn degrees, with black women getting 64% of bachelor's degrees, 71% of master's degrees, and 65% of doctoral degrees. At one point, black women were actually shown to be the most educated group in America in a 2014 study. According to a Harvard Business Review study, black women are most likely to start their own businesses despite facing substantial hurdles to sustain said businesses. Birth rates amongst black teens have also been on a steady decline for decades. And while yes, misogynoir, racism, and sexism still do heavily impact our lives, black women have still been persistent in our pursuits of leveling up, whether this be physically, mentally, emotionally, romantically. I've said it before and I'll say it again. We are literally magical beings and the world does not deserve us. We really should have stayed hidden along with mermaids and unicorns. Now, back to my point about sugar babies. What does any of this have to do with the rise of black women in the sugar baby space? Well, along with the rhetoric of black women obtaining luxury, there has also been a steady pushback against black women accepting what's known in the black community as struggle love with broke dusties. Struggle love is basically defined as any relationship that puts one through significant strain, be it financially, physically, emotionally, or mentally. And a broke dusty is, a broke dusty. I don't think I need to really define that. Instead, many black content creators in the femininity space of YouTube have been encouraging black women to aim for hypergamy by dating what they deem to be high-value men. Hypergamy means the action of marrying or forming a sexual relationship with a person of a superior sociological or educational background. And a high-value man is defined as a man that is seen as highly valuable either to society or in a relationship to the opposite sex. And aside from the end goal being marriage for some and a trip to Belize for another, does this not sound like sugaring? Sure, the end goal might vary depending on who you ask, but the trend of leveling up is pretty much consistent across the board. In this case, black women express a desire to level up in their intimate relationships with men. So am I over-intellectualizing this topic? Probably, but I like to explore some of anything, everything. I personally think that there could be a correlation to be made there. Regardless, I'm always glad to see a black woman getting her bag, especially in the black sex worker space, because black women in the sex work industry deserve only the best. And yes, I do consider sugar babies to be at least sex work adjacent. I think they're adjacent to the industry, but that's a topic for another day. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until next time, bye!
Daydream, time it as a stormy, go to blim blim blim. Ooh la la la, 狙った獲物は必ずと。Ooh la la la, 不可能なんてことはありえない。Ooh la せて探